Here's a recipe for disaster. Take one small and rather odd island in the North Atlantic. Add a bunch of fishermen who fancied themselves as international bankers. Mix in a dash of hot Viking blood and voila! You have a total catastrophe called Iceland. If you think we've got problems, wait till you see this place. When the world economy started sliding, Iceland went into total meltdown. It was the first country to go completely broke. But before you sink into despair, let me tell you that if the Icelanders were crazy enough to get themselves into this mess, they might just be crazy enough to get themselves out of it. They've been bred rough and tough and slightly crazy.
This is not easy, you know. You have to have big balls to do this.
Welcome to Formula Off-Road Trucking, the insane national sport of Iceland. Okay, well, is it a Viking thing?
Yes. This is the true Viking.
You are the true Viking.
Yeah, yes I am.
There's no doubt they're a hardy bunch, and they're going to need to be. Iceland is flat broke.
It was like a natural catastrophe, or a big earthquake, or a volcanic eruption, which we are quite used to in Iceland. So we are actually used to such events, or avalanches, or whatever. But this was different because this was man-made.
Icelanders have always been fishermen, living among glaciers and geysers, tapping the heat of the earth and harnessing the country's wild rivers to produce their power. For 1,000 years, these Vikings have toughed it out in this rugged, unforgiving land. And they've survived by embracing the country's natural resources. But 6 years ago, this tiny nation bizarrely decided to take on the world of international banking. You've got to ask yourself, what on earth were they thinking?
There was a banker in every family.
33-year-old Stefan Alfsson was a fisherman who, like so many other Icelanders, became a banker, a high-flying currency trader.
I was contacted and asked if I was interested, and it was, at that time, regarded a very good job to be in here in Iceland, so I decided why the heck not.
Were you qualified to be a banker?
Probably not. I mean, how do you qualify for it?
Iceland became Bankland, and its capital Reykjavik, the new Wall Street. Remember, this is a country of just 300,000 people. That's not much bigger than the population of Wollongong. Yet, in the space of a few short years, the new Vikings reinvented themselves as the global financial power. You were viewed as superheroes, almost.
Well, I don't know superheroes, but heroes, yeah, maybe. Or people that were on top. Bankers were on top.
You were the people who knew how to drive this country, the cleverest.
Yeah, well, I guess we thought we were.
Everyone said, this is good. I mean, we are having a party, let's celebrate.
Steingrimur Sigvason, Iceland's new finance minister, watched on bemused as the party spiralled out of control. Banks borrowed and bought up big. The country was rolling in money, and the locals were dizzy with excitement. How ridiculous did it get at its peak?
Yeah, well, for instance, a guy was having his birthday party in Iceland. He flew in Elton John to sing, just to sing 2 songs. And apparently he didn't do that very well because, I mean, he was just coming to get his check.
It was easy to get jobs. You could just study, and then you could pick and choose what job you would like. You could change job if you weren't satisfied. And I mean, everything was just, it was like heaven.
Þráin blossaði upp þegar hún hugsaði til stælt.
For young people like 27-year-old Ragnhildur Steinum Jonsdottir, an actress and former Miss Iceland, this was the place to be.
Sæl dúa mín. Ertu hér ein?
Everything was here. We had the nature, we had good people, we had the wealth, the money, good houses, and it was just like a dream come true.
But almost overnight, the House of Cards came crashing down. The international recession hit, and Iceland's creditors wanted their money back. It was the biggest banking failure the world had ever seen. All of Iceland's major banks had toppled within days. The whole country came to a standstill. Suddenly, not just offices, whole buildings stood empty. The party was well and truly over.
People were calling their bank to see if they could, you know, if they still had the money that they had, and it was just like, it was like a big black cloud just came over the country, and people just stood there and stared and thought about all of this.
I was surprised that I guess people were more angry and more let down than I had realized. I mean, of course, new people were angry. Maybe the difference is that, I mean...
You're a banker and they weren't.
Yep, that might be it.
No wonder they were angry. So many people held home loans in foreign currencies and found as their local currency, the krona, crashed, along with their banks, their debts had skyrocketed.
I felt numb. It was like, it was totally surreal. It's like being on board the sinking ship. It was going down.
Lifa and his wife Sisa were planning their retirement. Now they've lost their life savings and probably their home. You built this with your bare hands.
Yes, I did this with my own hands. So, of course, a part of my soul is in the house, and I was picturing myself growing old in this house.
I can feel your pain, though. I mean, there's a lot of work that you've done here.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. If we lose the house, probably somewhere between 25% and 40% of everybody in Iceland should lose their houses, because they're in a similar situation as we are.
Perhaps Icelanders were naive to think the boom would last forever. But then, this is a nation that believes in fairies.
If you would look at, there is a, it's almost like it's a nest, and there is a movement, they are working there, and there's a movement in the grass.
Thorun Kristin Elmsdottir is showing me where the elves live.
Do you see the little movement?
Mm-hmm.
Do you see it? Yeah.
I don't see figures.
No.
But you do.
Yeah.
They're friendly.
They are friendly, but they want to have their own space. Don't walk on in my garden, you know.
And this is what Thorun reckons they look like.
This would be the size that would be around this tree. But they get bigger and fatter when they are around this green, big.
Okay. She's not alone. Around Reykjavik, you can find roads that have been moved to avoid rocks where elves are said to live.
A lot of people live with the elves, and you know, they have seen them, and you know, they can tell you everything about them.
You believe they're here?
Yes, in a way I do.
But not everyone in Iceland is off with the pixies.
We have plenty of elves in Iceland. We used to call them bankers. That is the truth.
Well,
Those fucking idiots.
as you can gather, Arthur Bogerson has little time for elves or bankers. He's a fisherman, and like his seafaring mates, he's livid about what's happened to his country.
I heard one banker say that we could very well be without the fishing industry. It would be no problem for the country.
What did you think about that?
I think at that time that it was the most stupid thing that I had ever heard as an Icelander.
A recovery is going to take all their resourcefulness they can muster. Every man, woman and child in Iceland is said to owe at least $300,000. But spend a bit of time in Iceland and you get the feeling no one's panicking. I guess it's because they're all in the same boat. And at the end of a hard day counting their losses, they can always soothe their jangled nerves in the world's biggest hot tub.
You just let go because it's going to kill you. You really start looking at things, what's really valuable in your life.
They still live in one of the most starkly beautiful spots on the planet, now even more attractive to tourists thanks to the plummeting Icelandic currency.
That's why you come here, where it's just, beautiful nature, sea, and, this is what Iceland really stands for.
Beauty.
Yeah.
Of course, there's no guarantee it won't all happen again. Icelandic men just seem to have a thing for taking risks, and Icelandic boys are sure to follow their footsteps.
I kind of like the uncertainty.
It's in the Icelandic blood also.
Yeah. Well, myself, yeah. I'm a risk taker.
Stefan Alfsson's banking career has been foreclosed. He's thinking about going back to fishing, which is probably what this spirited little country should have stuck to in the first place.
We are damn good at fishing and producing fish, and that will surely help us a lot.
And you? Are you better at fishing than banking?
Well, looking at the personal track record, I guess. It's hard to say that I was better at banking than fishing. So I go with fishing.
Hello, I'm Tom Steinfort. Thank you for watching 60 Minutes Australia. Subscribe to our channel now for brand new stories and exclusive clips every week. And don't miss out on our extra minutes segments and full episodes of 60 Minutes, which are on 9now.com.au and the 9Now app.